And now I think we actually moved to the end of this level too, which is nice. We've been through a lot in this last hour. I remember this too because it's just like a bird. I don't know. All right, am I the biased one here? When I'm talking like Kremlings are pretty cool and I like them. Is that just because I saw them first? Like, if this was my first experience, would I look at this owl mountain knowing I'm about to fight an owl boss, spoilers, and just be like, that's pretty neat. That's a Viking owl. All right, that is what this is, right? It's got to be. Yeah, there's the guy. They're like, wow, look at that banana. And Funky Kong's just like, bro. They're just like, I can't believe you're making banana bread, actually? That's a valid purpose, my dude. I'm just going to say that. They could be prepping banana bread in the most efficient way possible. Because do you know how long it takes to mash bananas? It's a long time. Oh, alright, these fall. Okay. Coming back to memory. Then I think I have to get one of these guys to throw them, right? Yeah. Ugh. Oh, but yeah. I think maybe there's a time where, oh, it even gave me the heart on the drop because I was thinking this, I'm getting myself here. But maybe if I experience this first without the nostalgia of 3 games of Kremlings, or 4 counting Donkey Kong 64, that'd be like, these one-off guys are okay. And like, on that note, they are substantially better than the Tikis. I cannot throw this up. Give me this. Come to me. Come to me, bird. I've got a present. Now, can I use this too? Oh, nope, we're going up. But, the Tikis in Returns, like, okay. I actually have a little bit, this is digging up memories. So, they bring Donkey Kong Country back. And they're just like, yeah, cool. It is, oh boy. Oh, give me a heart. Give me another egg. This is just, heck. I just need, oh, I missed it. So they bring back Donkey Kong Country on the Wii. And it's real cool, and I'm happy to play it. All right, I get in the barrel cannons to dodge. Remembering now. But then they're like, instead of having Kremlings back on this return game, they give you Tikis. And you're just like, these aren't real, right? Like, they're Tikis using hypnosis to take over residents of the island. So then your bosses just wind up being Donkey Kong Country things-ish, kind of, which is fine. Like, you're already fighting random animals in the... Woohoo! Oh, good, I can jump and hold this guy. Alright, that makes it a little better. Oh! So you're already fighting animals and whatnot in Returns and, like, the original games and things. But then it's just like, the main foe is just this weird, like, Andros-ass tiki dude with his big old head and everything at the end. And it's just like, I have limits, alright? Suspension of disbelief wears off when it's just animated wood. Oh, I thought I could dodge that in time. So, yeah, Tiki's a low rating. Oh boy, what are these guys called? I don't remember these blokes' names. Give me that. Like, Snowmans. There we go, boom. I remembered. Snowmans. That's these guys' names. Snowmans are firmly B tier. They're okay. It's cool seeing all the Viking stuff. It could definitely be worse, and it is a significant improvement over the first retro Donkey Kong game. And actually, boy, this just makes me think. Recently, I've had my fair fill of Vikings, because I'm about to go on a totally different subject here. This makes me think. So, like, I know people who... We're going to talk about Warhammer for a little bit. And I have people in my life who are big fans of Space Wolves, where you're just like, here are mutants. These guys are just in the background until they land. That's right, I can land. Yeah, give me the egg. So you have these super mutant weirdos, and you're just like, yeah, cool. We're here, and we love wolves. We love snow. We're pretty much Vikings. We have giant victory feasts. And the big egg. And thinking these guys also, Warhammer lore is stupid. There's nothing serious about it. We're just gonna say that right now. Don't let anyone fool you otherwise. The whole universe of 40K is once again in my camp of it's so stupid it's good. So you have these guys who go through this process of becoming mutant, like superhumans, and these space wolves in particular are like, not only do you have to go through this harrowing surgery, they have all these weirdo, wacko things inserted inside you. After you do it, or, oh boy, I think it's either after or before, they're like, by the by, we're kicking you out of all civilization on our home planet. And in the meantime, you get to live on the tundra. And if you don't survive, you weren't worthy. So it sucks to be you. Because they fully expect you. Let me just beat up this. I was pressing the button. No, where are my punches? But they fully expect you to make friends with all the wolves there in the tundra, because they literally like raise these things, and if you don't live with them, you just heckin' die. And they're like, okay, oops, you didn't make friends with demi-humans' best friends, and now you're a goner. Because they're just like, yeah, make friends with these wolves, and after you found a pack, and you have now bonded with them, because you hunt with them, and you all get food together, and like, oh, look, it's been like 5 years. You're a full-fledged Space Marine now. Congrats. They take the wolves back with them, because now the wolves get integrated into the rest of the Space Wolf army. They're just like, yeah, these wolves, they hang out with us. They're the goodest boys. And then they start riding them. There's literally Thunder Wolf cavalry. And it's just like, we have these big old boys who have been through these mutant, nightmarish apocalypse scenarios and wars. And they might have lost a limb or an eye, but we just give them cool new robot paws and eyeballs. And we are with these wolves until the better end. And like, that admittedly, pretty cool. Now there's the downside that when you're a Space Wolf in particular, they're like, oh, also, that surgery you had, you're becoming a werewolf. Just in case you didn't know, you're going to fight so hard, you might actually just sprout fur and lose most of your sense of sanity. You're just going to be a big old furry boy. You'll decide clothing is for chumps. Actually, you'll throw most of your armor off because either you don't want to wear it. Yeah. They either go, I don't want to wear my armor anymore, or they're just straight up too big. Because they start getting more muscly as they embrace the furry. And they just become screaming lunatics called the Wolfen. And they will charge into everything. They're so angry and wolf-like that, like, in the game, they're just like, wow, all right, you tried to, like, fight me, and I didn't get a chance to punch yet? And you're gonna, like, remove me from the table? I've been defeated? I'm gonna punch you before I die, because I'm so angry. And it's just like, bro, Space Wolves are something else. They are really just... What is this? Oh, wait. Yep. Oh. Forward. I had to roll. I thought I had to blow. That's a returns thing, I think. But yeah, these thinking guys are thinking Games Workshop's answer to being like, we gotta have a little more, like, stuff in our game, and we want Vikings somehow. So our answer is to make Space Marines into the Viking subsection, but then also they're furries. And it's just like, you know, I can't even be mad. That's pretty great. And they have really good rules currently as it stands, because they regularly beat me up. I get to talk about my guys for a little bit, where I have a bunch of, I'm as vanilla as they come. I have Ultramarines, except they're a successor chapter, and you will not believe the color they are. So I take these plain old, generally by the book Ultramarine boys, who may or may not be pink, and they just get watch a bunch of screaming wolves just come running at them when I play Warhammer, and it's just like, oh boy, how should I feel that I have to shoot the dog? Like, you're like, I don't really want to shoot this wolf that they brought here in this game. But also, that wolf is covering an essential intel point, and he's got to go. So you just point your literally human-length laser cannon at this dog, and you're like, well, pup, it was good knowing you, but you gotta go. And then you patronize it. And all the other dumb things, like, oh boy. Warhammer, the lore takes itself pretty seriously, but you know the moment you start playing the games, like the physical tabletop, the stories you get, and the things people are willing to do in order to express themselves are great. Because the lore keeps it together in the books. They're very good. There are some great books in the lore with fantastic stories. I'm personally a big fan of Legion by Dan Abnett. Wonderful. And the Eisenhorn books, also by him. That guy's just great, turns out. But you get in the tabletop and you're like, wow, all right. I have my regular old Space Marines. We're hanging out. We're ready to go to war. But what's that I see? That's a bunch of the planet-consuming Tyranids, but, wow, they're all screaming bright pink and green. And what's this on their basing? What's this I see? I see gummy bears. I see sprinkles. These Tyranids are in Candyland, and they're tearing gummy bears in half in their jaws. They are decimating these candy denizens. And the lore of these Tyranids by this player is that they landed on this Candyland planet through the warp. You know, just through like hyperspace, space magic shenanigans. So player created lore will be like, I see the seriousness you're doing here. And I say I'm having none of it. I have candy Tyranids, and my partner here in this tournament, oh, they're the peppermint variety. They're bright white with a bunch of red stripes. Because they're on the other half of the candy planet that's peppermint based. And it's just like, whoa. I was thinking I was taking this game seriously, but I've sure learned my lesson, and it's great. Like, I want the stupid. Orcs, perfect example. That's when the lore just doesn't care anymore. Orcs are great, lovable, big lads who literally just kind of like spawn into existence for no reason. And their whole entire basis of existing is we like praise these orc gods, and they just tell us to fight things. Honestly, a good old tavern brawl is all we've really wanted out of life. And we would do nothing better than to just like die in fisticuffs with an angry space marine whose weapons are enlarged fists sitting on his arms powered by cables. And then the orcs also are just like, yo, we have this box, and they're all staring at it. They're thinking real hard, and one of them goes, what if I put this handle on this box? And they're stroking their chins. They're like, yes, yeah, right, jolly good. And then the third orc around goes, oh, I just had a great idea. So we're holding this box, right? It has a handle, and they're like, yeah, we have a handle on this box. And they're like, watch this. And he grabs just this cylinder, and he puts it on the end of the box. And he grabs the box with his handle, and then it just starts firing bullets. And he's like, I have invented gun. And they're like, wow, we can invent gun. And then just because they're like, cool, we make guns out of whatever we have lying around, boom, they're loaded. There's all these guns around. They figured it out. They realized, just grab a box, put a cylinder on it, and give it a handle, and bam, you have weaponry. They are ready to shoot. They're not going to be good at shooting, but they sure are shooting. And like, you know the thing? So like this thing they have, and they're just like, we are on a system of performance where if you paint us a different primary color, we're going to behave differently. We're just like, oh. I was a little too slow. I should have rolled. But they're just like, we have these color-coded things we put on ourselves as war paint and on our vehicles and weaponry. And so we modify their physical properties by slapping on a coat of paint, which, by the way, totally intentional, right? Like, clearly, as a modeling company, they're like, oh yeah, you want the lore of these fast orcs? Conveniently, they paint themselves a different color when they're trying to go fast. So you better buy the paints, kids, so then you can paint your orc that match the quote-unquote lore. But these orcs are just like, yeah, yellow means more boom. Yellow is the explosive color. I think red is the fast color. Orcs are just like, we want to zoom in our Mad Max style hot rods. We're just gonna go ahead and just paint red on the side of our things. And now they are zooming. These things are faster than they've ever been before because they are just red. And then famously, to the, I should have just, oof. I'm going to be just like the color I was talking about where I fly off screen and disappear for orcs. That color is purple. They're just like, the moment you put on purple, you just stop being like visible. You just disappear from the orc eyes. It is the sneakiest color. If you are a trained orc assassin, which maybe doesn't mean much in your qualifiers, because who knows how good you are at being sneaky as an orc. Well, there's some good sneaky orcs. I take that back. But it's like the moment you go purple, that's active camo. You're gone. They're old-timey Warhammer joke of like, if you lose a die roll that was in your favor in terms of probability, you're rolling your d6, and you're like, man, I have such good chances of my guy not dying because I have like a 2-up save right now. I'm going to be just fine. And then you roll a 1, and you have no way to re-roll it, and you're like, what? Come on, man. That was right there for me. That was so, how did I fail that? And somebody's just like, you see that other game table across the room? That was the purple orc sniper. He found you, couldn't see him. He was invisible. You had no choice in that. He gunned you down. He saw you from the start of that game, that particular model. He said, screw that guy. I'm going to shoot him right now when the time is right, when he thought he's most safe. And that is the famous purple orc sniper. From 2 tables away, in an entirely different game. That game might not even be orcs, but that orc was part of the army list. That is the mythical orc purple sniper.